Welcome to another episode of No Tears for Black Girls, a true crime podcast with a purpose. Written and produced by award-winning author John Reedberg. I'm your host, Samantha Paul. Let's dive in.
Friday, October 20th, 2023, Sanford, Florida.
Now at 5, 2 young children died at the hands of their own mother. It is a heartbreaking story that we've been following out of Sanford.
Yeah, we have team coverage this evening. Watch 2's Greg Fox is live outside the woman's home near Sanford. And Michelle Meredith spoke with mental health experts. We're going to begin with Greg Fox. So is there any indication what may have triggered all of this?
So far, no, and that's the frustrating thing for detectives. They've been talking with family members of Catorreia Hutto, and they know that she had mental health challenges, but nothing that was violent. And about a year ago, they moved into this house after they acquired it from Habitat for Humanity, she and the kids, and everything seemed to be going well until the shocking events of today.
Xavier Jackson's disturbing tale of heartache and loss began when he found out that their own mother killed the angels he made, his 5-year-old twins, Ahmad and Ava, after she had jumped to her death in Florida. He recalls his children, Ahmad, the introspective one, Ava, with her never-ending chatter. But the tragedy he now confronts dims any joy they brought him. Xavier must arrange a funeral for his beloved twins. Guilt racks him as he ponders if there was anything else he could have done differently to save them. Now Xavier is left with broken dreams and unanswered questions. The Sanford, Florida Police Department is in shock after a series of tragic events unfolded on Friday morning, October 20th. Detectives believe that a mother's dark mission culminated in the murder of her 2 children at their home. Bystanders reported to police that a woman drove her car to the top of a bridge near the St. Johns River in what appeared to be an attempt to take her own life. Catorreia Hutto ran from the passenger window and plunged into the river below. Deputies arrived on scene and pulled her body from the water, aware that something was amiss, leading them back to her family home, where they found young Ahmad and Ava inside, appearing as if they were sleeping until they realized this nightmare was real. Their mother's hands has murdered both children. A story of heartbreak and unbearable pain, leaving behind indelible scars for generations to come. As questions remain unanswered, dark secrets hung in the air. Hutto's fragile mental state had cast a menacing shadow over her children. All seemed to point towards a demise that took their mother from them far too early. She, like many others, was just trying to make ends meet in a world full of uncertainty and danger. But few knew about the anguish she kept bottled up within until it was too late. Xavier, who tries to understand why his family was taken away so soon, wonders why this tragedy befell them, leaving him with nothing but a void of despair.
I am absolutely heartbroken. I have empathy. I don't have to know her to feel. I have a daughter of my own. And what first comes to me is that she must have not had anyone to reach out to. But I know in my community that mental health is just now being taken seriously.
And again, that was just one of the neighbors that we talked to here in the neighborhood today. We just received a couple of minutes ago a statement from the UCP charter school. Quote, "The entire UCP community is deeply saddened by the sudden passing of 2 of our Seminole County Schools kindergarten students and feels shocked by the circumstances. We immediately made available grief counseling for classmates, teachers, and school family members."
It's time to remove the stigma surrounding mental illness in the Black community. Studies show that Blacks are 20% more likely than the general population to suffer from serious mental health conditions. Yet while 40% of whites seek help for these issues, only 25% of us do. We must cease denying the existence of mental health and commence educating our churches, neighborhoods, and households about its equal significance to physical health. Mental illness can manifest itself from depression and anxiety to bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and substance abuse. It affects people from all backgrounds equally and should not be judged. Let's break down this barrier once and for all. The triggers of mental illnesses range from biology to life events to family history. It's critical to be cognizant of the signs and symptoms so that you can identify when one needs help. For instance, feeling regularly sad, exhausted, guilty, or desperate for over 2 weeks could indicate depression. Or if your worries and anxieties feel exaggerated and impractical, then it may suggest an anxiety disorder. Having physical manifestations such as palpitations or chest pain could mean panic disorder is involved. And social avoidance may show stress overload, depression, anxiety, or social phobia. Of course, receiving proper treatment for mental health issues can produce remarkable results, reducing symptoms and permitting someone to lead a fruitful life. I'd like to share a 2017 audio clip of North Central College student Davante Sanders Funches' spoken word piece, The Grounding of Black Bodies. This hauntingly beautiful piece conveys the scourge of mental illness in the African American community.
I was always taught to be strong in this world. Told to never let my guard down because at any moment I could be attacked without a moment's notice. That my skin made me a target. Skin that has persevered through many trials and tribulations, from seeing my mama raped by landlords, to my father being beaten and stripped of his manhood, to my brothers and sisters being separated into jobs for this bigger system. My skin has always been under attack. Yet somehow we prevailed through it all, through all the lynchings, literacy tests, new Jim Crows, war on drugs, the gentrifications, police brutalities, food deserts, mass incarcerations. We survived and adapted and pushed to change because our very existence depended on it. Our very existence depends on this black strength. Strength that has carried us for decades, but is undermining an important aspect of our humanity and feeding in on itself. Being strong all the time took away our ability to speak about our weaknesses, our sadness, our mental illnesses. This silence is killing us. On top of that, we lack proper mental health care access and endure mistreatments by medical professionals who cannot relate to us in their practice. On top of that, we stigmatize mental illness to preserve this place of our strength, damaging ourselves, and among black children observing a spike in suicide rates because they may feel that their place in heaven is way better than their place here today, because when black life isn't valued enough for professional help, adequate housing, or even breathing, life here degrades in value in comparison to life after. Black bodies, strong black souls are floating through the wind, seamlessly letting go. Strong black bodies are screaming for help, but suffering in silence and being socially and systematically being put on quiet. Black souls are strong, but we do need help when we do fall through the cracks. That is why I want you to know that you can patch things up with me. All right, we can kick it back like it was a drive-through movie in the 1970s. We can get some help from people who actually understand us, refute our standards of stigmatizing mental illness, and fight against the structures that chronically misdiagnose what this really is. Fight against the racism that brings up our mental health issues and lowers our treatment options, bringing us one step closer to seeing no other option. I want us to see that we have a way to heal this wound that has been widening ever since day one with no means of contracting. I want us to know that the seed that we sow today is the harvest we reap tomorrow. And when we finally reap, we can find peace in these moments, noticing that the danger isn't gone, but we finally have a place where it feels like it is. The grounding of black bodies.
Love us? Leave us a positive review or rating. Follow No Tears for Black Girls on social media and No Tears for BG on Twitter. Be blessed, be loved, stay safe.